Hi everyone and welcome to DG tutorial. In this video you are going to learn how to draw Hades Kerbecs from Beyblade Metal Masters. First, my drawings are a little bit detailed, so don't get frustrated if you're not able to get it the first time round. Have patience and you should be able to do it. So in order not to have long video lengths, I've kind of done the outline of Hades Kerbecs right here, and I will be doing outlines for whatever I draw beforehand, so that the video doesn't become too long. What I've done right here is that I've created another 2 layers right here, but let's not talk about this first. Let's talk about this outline. Right, okay, things to note first. Oops, okay, things to note first is that even before we talk about the outline, you got to have your own set of brushes that you're comfortable with. For me, I'm using art pencil under the artist section and eraser from legacy section. You may use anything from your fine art, traditional maybe, yeah, Copic maybe, could be, yeah, possibility. Basically like the pencils over here. One more thing to note is that your brush size over here, try not to let it be too large, because if you make it large, for example, the default size is actually number 5. So if I'm gonna do this, for example, this part of the outline right here, I can't get the sharpness, not as well as a thin brush. So I recommend, it's best if you use a sharp tip. So set it down to 1. Okay, somewhere around here. Okay, 0.9. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, another thing to mention before we start is that the app that I'm using is Sketchbook. It's free on Android, available on iOS, desktop, MacBook maybe, yeah. Alright, so if you don't have the app yet, I would recommend you to get it. Okay, I think we're all caught up. Alright, so now let's start on with the actual tutorial. First, this head and this head are actually mirrored of each other. They're actually the same thing. You can note by the jaws over here. You can note by the fact that they have exactly the same design and outline over here. Just okay. So these two are the same right here. Now this head, we're gonna save it for last. Not gonna do anything yet. Yes, oh yeah, but one more thing. Okay, when you're looking at this, it may seem very complicated and hard to draw, but I like to use this thing. It's called divide and conquer strategy over here. So first, zoom in a little bit over here and divide your work equally. So I've got one part right here, another part right here. Then you could make the chains separate. This actually chains right here. The lower part of the teeth, separate them again. Same goes to this, the lower part over here, and then the top part. And then of course we have this part, the outline and everything, but that's all later part. So now that you know what you're going to start with, it becomes easier to draw. Okay, alright, so let's start drawing right now. I'm gonna reduce this. Okay. Alright, so on my screen right now I have 3 layers right here, but on your screen you're gonna have only 2 layers. This is something that I've already done beforehand, so that the video doesn't become too long. So okay, then looks like I'll go back to here, reduce this again, and we're gonna use the second layer first, right? Okay, so first, don't start out with a big head just yet. I would recommend you to start out with the smaller head. It doesn't matter whether it's the right or left head, just do one of the smaller heads. So I'm going with right. Okay, it's also important to know what you're drawing. Okay, so I'm drawing Hades Kerbecs. So take note of its nature. It's supposed to be evil, a beast, wild, and everything. So try to add in curved sharpness right here. Parts like here. Most of it is all sharp. Even here. Maybe just put an improve on here. A lot of sharp points. That's the key of it. Okay. Remember that this part is you're doing part of perspective drawing, so you're only going to have one part over here. This whole part over here is only going to be one side. This is supposed to represent more towards the nose area. Of course, this is the eyes. I'll teach you how to draw the eyes. I'll teach you like something that you can recognize it with, a common item, so it doesn't become so complicated to draw the eyes. But we get on that later. Now if you are curious, for me this whole thing, what I've shown you before, not just the outline with the colors and everything, I think it's easily taken me a few days to do it, maybe about 2 to 4 days just to do it everything all. Also it requires a lot of concentration, so keep yourself distant for a short time. Maybe give yourself about 1 hour, but don't get too distant that you start to neglect everything else in your life. So right now we're done with one part. Don't draw the eyes just yet. I guess in my previous drawing, this outline, I made a mistake. I drew the eyes first, and right now it's like there's too little space right here, so I made a mistake right there. But don't worry, this is going to be another work. We're going to touch up on my mistakes. Now another mistake I made down here is that we're trying to have teeth over here. So of a beast, recommended to have sharp teeth. Like this is good. Not the best, but it's good. But let's see if we can try to okay, got it. Oops, that's a bit worse. Okay, that's a little bit better. So sharp teeth on the top, sharp teeth at the bottom. It goes like that. Okay, so it's gonna look something like that. Let me just finish up this part over here. Okay, I made a mistake. Now it's gonna, okay, now you see I'm gonna be using my previous drawing, the outline, the very first one. Let's oops, what did I do? Oh. Okay, look, it's connecting to each other, and we don't want that. We want it to have a spacing we don't want it to be touching each other. So if I do zoom out, it looks like they're touching each other, and we don't want that. So reduce this again, get this layer. Okay, so I'm gonna do this just now. Again. Okay, now here comes the eyes part. Alright, so okay, now to me my eyes are going to be touching this part right here. That's because I want them to touch. And what you can do is either you can do straight with a curve in, or you can do it to be already curved. So you can do straight and then curve in, or you can do curve and then straight in. It's up to you. Or you can even do, hold on, just we can even do a curve outwards and then curve inwards. All up to you, but for me, I'm going to be using straight and then curve slightly and then curve outwards, and then it's going to look like a, oops, a bit wrong right there. I'm trying to make it look the same, so it's a bit of a curve down here. Not there yet. Let me just redo this again. So, oops, let's see what's the problem here. They're a complete mirror of each other. Okay, let's do this. Okay, yes, I now realize why. Because it's supposed to be looking this way. So I'm gonna make it look like it's looking that way. Okay, yeah, got it. Now there's a bit of spacing over here, and that's good. That's what we want. Oops, it's not that straight. Okay, so it's gonna look something like this. Now the eyes, okay, let me just draw a line so that maybe you may be able to see it. If I draw this, and maybe something sticking out of it down here, it kind of looks like a knife, like a dagger right here. So this part is going to be like, you know, the, okay, you know, sometimes in swords they're like, first of all they have this handle part, and then something comes out of it like a pattern, and then here comes the blade. Oops, this will curved in like the blade, and then the blade comes out, something like this. So it's exactly something like that. Just that now it's gonna be part of like the eyes. So this is how the eyes is gonna look like. Remember now that it's facing this way, so try and point it towards this way, like it's looking down. Remember now to draw the eyes towards like this way, because oops, we're gonna draw the eyes towards, looking towards the opposite direction, then it just won't make any sense, because then it's going to be looking this way, but whereas the head is looking this way, it's pointing this way. So take note of that. Couple of things to take note of. Actually, that's pretty obvious. Actually, if it's looking at one direction, the eyes should be looking at the same direction. Okay, now you're done with one part, you can move on to the other part right here. Oh yes, like I mentioned before, this whole part and this part right here are actually symmetrical, so there's an optional way that I'm unsure of how to use symmetry right here. It's hard, but If you know how to make it work, then that's good for you. But basically it's like a symmetry like this. Oops, I think that's the wrong option. I think it's this way, was it? Yeah, something like this. Now you need to draw exactly the way, something like this. Alright, so I didn't use this option, so that's why some of it, like this part right here and this part right here, may be of different lengths and sort of, but they look the same. From a naked eye, they look the same to me. So I'm not going to use this, but very important, you can actually use this. That's why I've created another layer right here, because when you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing this from scratch. You won't actually have a guided copy like what I have here. So what you can do, for example, if we were to do the head, oops, like you see over here, they are about the same, just that this is a little bit off. We'll talk it from here, the actual point, they are the same. So there's a bit of ink over here, and then smudge it up a little higher. Other than that, it's okay. So another thing you can use is the ruler, curve ruler to be exact. This to mostly you can use it to do the curve sharp. Yeah, the curve parts right here. You can use it to do. Oops. So use a ruler at some point. Actually, this right here, you can use a ruler, something like this. It's a good example, and sort of. So let me just go back to this layer again. Okay. Alright. Now this layer, you're going to start off with the same thing all over again. Start off with the top part, especially right about over here. Now if you have done the other part correctly, this part right here, then what you can do is that you can actually just follow the same thing. Remember that they are mirrored. So if the eyes are pointing this way over here, then over here they'll point this way. If the jaws over here are going this way, at the top you can see that they're going this way, then the teeth over here are going this way. The lower part also is similar. This part they're going this way, and for this part, this one. Right. Okay. So right now, I'm gonna remove all of this. Okay, I'm gonna continue right on. Now note that your eyes, for me, I have them connected right here, but you don't have to connect your eyes if you don't want to. Oops. Okay, so what you can do is that let me just go at my eraser right here. Okay, simply what you can do is that you can just join this up. Maybe this part you can bring it down here. Oops. You get what I'm trying to say? You can actually just make it, you can actually just start it a bit below, I guess, somewhere like something like this. Of course, this part is supposed to be maybe curved a little bit more so that it gets the, you can see where it's about sharp, and it's similar to this, but for me, I want my eyes, the top part of it, to be touching, so that's why I've done what I've done. Alright, Now wherever you can add sharp points, remember to do that. There are two kinds of sharpness actually. One is like this. You can actually have it like straight and then straight, or you can have it curved like this. Curved, make it more curved, and then curved. Now you can for this I've added in a combination of those two. If you want, you can just use the sharp curves, all up to you. Oops, it's not sharp there. The teeth, I'm trying to make it especially sharp. Okay, we are almost at. Okay, now again, perspective drawing, so you're only gonna have one eye and you're only gonna see one part of the nose, which is this part right here, and oops, and this part right here, only one part, whereas the oh man, what is this? I can just erase an H, never mind about that. Okay, whereas the big head right here, because it's looking straight at you, so you're gonna have both eyes and then it's full nose. Now the pattern of the eyes and nose can differ, it's all up to you. There's no correct way of drawing it. Okay, let me first finish this. Sharper the better. Okay, right here, exactly right about here, the jaw area right here, especially for this, okay, yes, so not right now, but I just want to say that this part is going in, whereas this part is going out. Logical explanation, is looking straight, so we want it to have like a curved end, so this part actually should be curved inwards, but we'll get onto that later once I reach there. Now we've done both the heads, so now we can move on to the bigger head right here. Just check everything's correct. Alright, now the reason why we did these two smaller heads first is so that we get to determine how much space we can give over here. Now because notice that the heads over here are actually towards the end of the canvas, so I don't want to draw the bigger head too large, because I don't want, in the case that there's not enough space to draw the smaller heads, and then I get startled and stuff like that. So, but in case if you have drawn the bigger head first because you saw this outline and you can sketch it first, if you're using this app, then good for you. You're gonna do this option right here, transform, and you can transform it. Okay, now I'm gonna bring him actually. Okay, but sadly it uses the whole layer. So if you have done the bigger head, all of it right there, you've done everything, only that on one layer, then at least you get to adjust it. But if done everything on one layer, like something like you've already done the whole head right here, and perhaps you've already done one smaller head over here, it's going to affect both of it. So I would recommend, if you're new, if you're going to do this from scratch, haven't have any practice before, create new layers. You can add in how many layers you want for different heads. So maybe this head could go to maybe this layer, and then this layer you could this layer right here, you could maybe dedicate it to this head right here, and so on. That's what actually I did the first time that I was drawing. Okay, I'm gonna keep this layer right now. Just this in case for me, but I don't think so I'll be needing it. It doesn't seem okay. The eyes looks okay, looks about the same. Okay, except over here it's kind of straight and curved, whereas over here it's like straight and thin. There's one flaw I saw. I want to zoom out. It looks almost exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter. Now it's also important not to get too paranoid if you see crooked lines. Like over here the lines aren't straight. I didn't use a ruler, but if you're gonna do this, I would recommend you use a ruler, curved ruler. You don't actually need the last one. Where was it? Under guides, this, you don't need this. It's not important. If you want, there's hardly anything to use. There's hardly anything that would actually call for it. So we're gonna use the curve ruler and ruler. Alright, so now we're gonna get on to the big head. Some pointers I've given out. So we're gonna start off right here. Okay, before I do the big head, this is completely up to you. You can do the chains first and then do the big head, or you can do the big head and then do the chains. These are the chains, by the way. Your choices actually kind of determine they are related somehow. So if you were to do the chains first, then you will be deciding how much space there is left, including a bit of white space over to fill up later. There is for the big head, and vice versa. If you do the big head first, so if you do the outline, imagine over here doing the outline over here, then you will be determining how much space you're going to allocate for the chains. So it's really your choice. You are going to have to decide. Now for me, I would do the chains first. Yes, I would do the chains. So the chains are actually pretty easy. You just got to create weird shapes and try to connect them all exactly. Something like this. I mean, you see, there's no proper name for this shape. Like, okay, maybe this would be considered as like an oval, but there's no shape, there's no name for this. It's a combination, right? Oops. Okay, it doesn't need to be connected completely. Similarly, and then this part over here can connect to this. Let's make it. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, like this, and then okay, like this part can be done over here. This is nicely done because everything is all connected nicely, and I have it. Now you can add in your own patterns, your own style. Try not to use proper shapes like circles, squares, rectangles, triangles. Try not to use that kind of shape. Try adding these like funny shapes over here, these weird shapes. So yeah, now the small part that's done, we can move on to the bigger head. So leave some space, especially down here, leave a little bit of space, and then start. Let me make sure I'm the right layer here. Yep, okay, right layer. Remember, try to leave space. And now we're going to doing the teeth part. So make it sharp. Okay, now we're getting on to this part right here. Now this is the lower part, and we want to make sure that it closes up, like you get the impression that, you know, it's closed. So that's why right here it's going this side, whereas this part over here is going this side. So don't start off with the inner part yet. Don't maybe start off right here and then draw it over here. Do this part first, and then work your way inwards. Okay, you're gonna do this part right here, the outer part, and you're gonna have to do this part right here. Let me just redo everything again. Okay, so as I was saying, maybe you can do this part first, then this part, or vice versa. I can do this part first, then this part. It's all up to you, it's your decision. But I will not recommend you to start drawing inwards, especially down here. If you want, you can still do this part right here, but best if you start at the outer edge over here. Now you can work your way inwards. It doesn't matter which side you go from. Okay, there's a bit of a mistake right here. Okay. Alright. Now we're coming on towards we can call it like the chin. Remember, it's a sharp base, so don't make it like a flat chin down here. Make it sharp. Now you can go with the normal pointy sharp, or you can make it curved. Like this, and then it follows normally again. So this curve, it's normal, something like this. It's all up to you, but I found out when I was doing the curve, it looks kind of awkward. I mean, not here exactly, it's about over here. It's like this curve part over here, it's meant to be like when it's pointing to another direction. So that's why I went for the normal kind of sharpness. I didn't go for the curve. So look, it's a little bit better now, although it's still a little bit curved because of this part right here. But it looks better than having this part curved too. Now notice one more thing, very that will be important later part on. This part right here and this part right here exactly the same. A straight line coming down and a curve like this, and a straight line. Notice this, it is extremely important later on. Okay, now we are done with the lower part. So right now we're going to move on to the upper part. The eyes, nose, the rest of the ears. Yes, okay. So we're going to start off. Okay, right here and right here. These are gonna be, okay, sorry, not this part. We're talking about the big part over here. These are gonna be the ears actually. So again, a beast, try to draw sharp points. But if you are going more towards cute characters, that you're trying to make this cute, First of all, don't have sharp eyes. If cute is your goal, then don't have anything sharp at all. Try to make it broad. Eyes would be big, and the ears would be broad and big. But right now we're going for the actual version, so sharp ears it is. Now I spot that over here. Before I draw it again, let me just change the layers right here. Now this is why we have this layer, because even I have drawn this before, need to be extra sure. So you're gonna take a ruler. Remember, this is another layer, so you can let's say vandalize this layer. Okay, make it a 0 angle, canvas at 0 degrees, and we have drawn right here the tip. Draw another line. Make sure, I'm gonna make sure again. Okay, correct layer. Okay, so what I'm doing now is that I want to make sure a sharp tip over here it reaches. Okay. Oh wait, oh no. Go back again, redo this part. Okay, so I did in the wrong layer. It's kind of confusing because sometimes when I'm doing on this layer, I'm drawing the lines and I'll get carried away and I forget that I'm supposed to switch it back to this other layer over here. So do remember that. Okay, now just checking the correct layer. Alright. Okay, it's gonna be something like this. Alright. Now once you're done with this part, you think you're satisfied with it, I'm satisfied with it, you go ahead and just do this. If you're using this app, this is actually just the hide this layer button over here, and continue doing all over again. So remember this, you're not just going to draw like, you know, a normal, like a human face. You're going to draw it with sharp pointing in, sharp pointing out, sharp parts pointing in like this. So it's a little bit different because right here I've already drawn the curve coming in, so I'm not going to switch it out like this. So I'm following the pattern over here. It's going in, so it should come out, and go in one more time. I'm doing stuff like that. Now I would recommend you to do this part in, for those of you who want to be a bit different. This part right here, so instead of making it curve outwards, you can make it curve inwards, and then bring it out and then go in. But if you are gonna do that, then this part over here must change too. So yes, think really carefully. Okay. Okay, we are almost done. Okay, you could say that we are about, once I draw the eyes and this part right here, you could say that we are halfway done. It's a bit slow or fast, but hang on with me, we'll be almost done. Now this part right here, it's kind of optional. You don't have to do it. I just wanted it, so I did it. Now I'm going to talk about the more important thing is the eyes and the so-called nose. Alright. Now you can do the exact same way. Like you could do the dagger part over here, and then and you just connect it over here. You can use this part over here and connect it, but I thought something different. Now this part over here is exactly like how the anime is, so we're going to be following that. Okay, so that's why don't all okay, it's completely up to you whether you want to do the inside or the outside first. Of course, for me, I would be doing the outer part, which is all of this right here, before I do the inner part, which is this whole part right here. So but if you feel that you're more comfortable with doing the so I'm saying, if you feel you're more comfortable doing the inside part, then do it, but remember that it can't be too big, because you use space over here, then you use space over here. So right now there's a problem over here, and that's why part of it is a bit wrong. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it right now. So let's start making it curve a little bit. We can just bring it outwards. Okay, sure. Okay, this is good enough. It doesn't need to be that. It doesn't need to be so much of gap. Okay, now this is like one part of the nose and the second part of the nose. Okay, let's see. Okay, sharp curve right here. Okay, now again, symmetrical. I'm trying to make it a bit symmetrical. Let's see, did I do anything wrong? Sharp point, moon curve. Okay, so because of this error right here, the spacing, the curve over is a bit longer, where this was a bit shorter and more inwards. So a mistake on my part. Other than that, it looks good. Now I'm just gonna do this part too. Okay, if you are gonna draw this part, then you should probably take note of the angles. If I'm not wrong, it was 10. Okay, right here. So we're gonna be using. Yeah, alright. So it has to be used under. So it's going to be 80 degrees. Then this part is going to be another 80 degrees. Looks like the measurements will be off. Okay, now make it to 80. And in here I made it to 45. Same thing over here. 80. Then another 80. Okay, this is good. Yep. And then 45. Now I am not sure whether the zooming in and out may actually affect with the degrees and all that, but this is what it should look like, something like it. Okay, so if we're gonna remove this, you'll see that we are actually done with the main part of it, the main component right here. You got the 3 heads, the chains, the teeth, jaws, everything done. Yes, you're good enough. But this video is going to be a bit more. Now, the parts that I haven't drawn yet, it's going to be these parts right here and all that. I'm going to teach you a way to draw them. Okay, first off, that's what I was saying right here, the same. When drawing this part, I'm not sure what you can call this exactly. You could call this like the aura of it. It's a little bit the same. Like for example, we got this point right here, and we have this point right here again. This point right here is curved a little bit. A point right here is curved a little bit too. It's going this way, it's going this way. It's this part. Now this part is inwards because there's so much of space, so we won't just want to do this. This part. Again, you can bring it in. This part is like the jaw area, so bring it in as much as you want, but not too much that it comes into this point right here. So there has to be like a limit. Okay, you could try until here. Okay, let's do my third layer, your second layer, unhide layer. Okay, let's turn this back to 0 degrees. Okay, maybe a bit hard to see on 0 degrees. Okay, I think I may have it. Okay, somewhere over here. You can push it a little bit inwards, a bit more. Hopefully it doesn't come until here. Okay, maybe that point was a good point over here. It is kind of good. What else? This point. Sharp point here. There are a lot of similarities, so now this part is completely independent. This part and this part. Unhide this layer to make it a bit easier. Now especially the ears, that's where it's a bit easier to draw. There are so many similarities, especially where the sharp points are. Right here, another one. Okay, right here it's actually another one more, similar towards this part right here. So it's this part right here. So yes, there are a lot of similar points. Now we're gonna do it. Okay, yes, the chains, the whole chains right here, the lower part of the mouth, all these things, even actually right now the whole beast, actually should I say the entire beast actually influences how much space there's going to be left for the aura. So that's why okay, you can actually do custom custom canvas size. If you're using this app, I can show you later how to do the custom canvas size. But for me, I like it square. So if you're really not experienced, this is your first time do what I do. Create multiple layers, create how many layers you like, and then allocate one head for each layer. It makes it so much easier, right? And once you're done, go back to the layer over here. Imagine now that there are many other layers, and what you can do, you tap on any layer, merge all, and this one or more layers are hidden. Okay, because I've hidden one of the layers, so we're not gonna merge all just yet, because I don't want this to pop up just yet. We may delete it if we don't need it anymore. So we're gonna keep this first. Okay. Now, you could, since you could start off anywhere. You could either start off at the lower point over here or the higher point. Up to you, completely up to you. I'm going to start with the higher point because it's easier to do. Okay, middle point over here, towards the head over here. You won't be doing like a sharp point. Hold on, let me just okay, maybe it goes down and then it goes up and then something like this. No, it looks extremely weird. So what they've done is like this, make it a bit sharp. And now following points over here, we'll start making things sharp, so they're related somehow. You could say that they're related. Remember, okay, this whole part right here is to create the effect, like, you know, sometimes how like it's an evil creature, so how its aura is like spewing out, you know, that kind of effect. That's what we're going for over here. Especially this part, I'm trying to make it sharp. Okay. Now you can just follow what I'm doing. Okay, yes, one thing I know, this part over here and this part over here. Okay, never mind. It looks a little bit inwards, just like this, so it looks fine. Now, not everything is like related. Like for example, this point, there is no point over here. But don't worry, because some points over here, they just don't relate. But you can make so if you're going to be doing this point, you could relate it to this. But this point right here, there's nothing. Or it all depends on your sense of perception over here. Okay, let's see. Okay, ready at the bottom. Wait, let me just check layer again. Okay, now sometimes when you change layer, just remember to check whether you have changed it back to the correct layer, or else I'm sorry, but you may just have to do it again, because you know, you've done it in the wrong layer, and maybe that layer is meant for like guides, so it just won't work. Because maybe after this, the layer that I've used for guides, I may just delete it because I won't be needing it anymore. Oops, why does it keep happening? Okay, that's good. Okay, bring it down, up. Now practice makes perfect, so right now I'm practicing how to do this for this video. So doing this is like second nature to me. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll give you this part right here. Okay, maybe you know what, this is this whole part over here. Okay, so let's talk about the pencils, the brushes that they have. So on this app, they actually give everything for free. There is no pro version. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, the app that I'm using, I didn't spend a single cent on it. It was free. I got all my brushes, and that's why I'm really happy with this app. Even though it can't like change this toolbar, it can't rotate, so that's why the video looks like this. But I like this app. Now I don't only like this app because it's free. There are some other parts of it that I like. Oops. Okay. Okay, looks like we are done. Okay, but before this isn't the end of the video yet. Okay, I know this may look good enough, but if you really want to bring out the full effect, especially things like over here, you are gonna add in some colors. Before even we use we'll be using the fill option right here. Before that, hold on, for those of you using actually any app out there, if you're using this fill option, they actually take into account of tiny gaps, like maybe for example, maybe when I was tracing, maybe when I was doing this, there's this hold on, let me just make it more realistic. Maybe there was this small gap right here that I didn't see, and so I continued doing everything. So if you're going to use the fill option, it's going to splatter out everywhere and everything else is going to get affected, and we don't want that. So before even we use the option, let's just make sure that everything is filled up. Now of course you won't be able to, you may not, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you may not actually get every point because human error. We may not be able to see all the gaps. Maybe there are some that we just missed, but it's best to do just another check. Just check through my work. I know for you, I know for some of you this may seem like a waste of time, but it's worth it. Okay, to me there seems to be nothing. Let's see if it works. Now as I said, I've done this, so I have some of my colors. Now I'm not sure exactly how to give you the name of the colors, but because over here there are numbers over here, so I'll be using this. Now for the face, I have got roughly a plus minus situation over here. Maybe go out to about 90, 97, 96. Okay, 96, fine. And 50, make it over maybe 50, 51, or maybe just 50. Let's take it 50. Okay, I hope it's all filled up. Okay, it's good. Good, and okay, it's good. There were no cracks over here, so that's a good thing. Now the colors are completely up to you, but these are the colors that I like. So Hades Kerbecs from the anime is actually yellow, goldish colors, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do. Now the chains, it's still going to be part of the yellow spectrum, but a bit darker. So or maybe it's orange. No, it's still on the yellow. Let's check. I got 50. Okay, 50 about there. Let's make it to 100 and let's bring down so it's a bit darker. Okay, maybe 46. Let's try. Now these numbers are not exact, so okay, maybe this may look good. Oops, okay, so sometimes if it's too small, yes, a few things like this may happen, because if it's too small, maybe I don't know, maybe it can't register, or the pen is too big, so just spread its colors everywhere. Okay, you got it. You got it. Okay. Yep. Okay, now you may not like the colors yet, but that's because everything right now I'm gonna fill it with black. Yes. Okay, this is actually quite a good one because apparently there were no gaps in between or anything, so perfect. Now the eyes, hold on, the eyes are going to be, let's make it black first. Okay, now ears are gonna be part of, hold on, let's make it red. Okay, maybe red about here, lowering it down, maybe like this. Oops. Okay. 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 That's done. But like I showed in the very starting of this video, I actually have a different idea. Okay, now I'm not sure whether this brush is only exclusive to Sketchbook, but I'll be using this to do another aura. So it's gonna be like the aura of the aura. Okay, I've set it to glow. So at first it's gonna be standard. Size was 5 if I'm not wrong, 5 or 10, I can't really remember, but standard. I kept doing it and it didn't feel so amazing, so I messed around, brush types, and we got glow right here. The flow, you can make it to 100, it doesn't really matter. You can just make it lower a bit. Yes, okay, so in this brush you can see that, okay, if I'm going to do a straight line, you can see that there are actually holes in here. Holes. Okay, so it's not like for example, if I were using a paintbrush, it's so nice, it's filled up completely. There are like white patches too, and it doesn't fill up completely, and that's actually what we want, exploiting its users. So texture essentials, there are so many others, but they aren't needed right now. There's this airbrush over here. You can use it if you want to make it a little bit more pinkish. Now this is completely all up to you, but for me I like the normal color. Well, then let me just remove everything. I think that's everything. Is that all? Okay, 1 and 2, done. Alright, check the layer again. I don't think so. We're gonna be using this layer, so we're gonna just delete it. Yeah. Okay, now go under the pencil pal. You can follow these settings. Advanced settings I don't really mess with. I'm just using the basic settings. And okay, the background, okay, I wouldn't really call it the background, this part over here and all, you can choose any color you like. As since this is a new one, I may be going for a different color, so I want to try, so I've already done red. Well, I mean, there are some colors that are only suitable to something. Blue look good? No, maybe blue's not needed right now. Okay, no, never mind. Let's go back for red. It's okay. And I can go for black. Let's see how black will look like. No, it's gonna be a waste of all of our work. So red. Okay. Anyway, if I don't like the colors, you can just undo. Pencil pal, switch it to pink. And we're gonna do the, I'm just gonna do the outline of it. If you want, you can create another layer, because if you're doing the same layer, see, it may just destruct everything and you won't really want that. So create another layer. Don't make it on top. If you make it on top, it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to overlap your, so you create another layer right here. This layer is going to overlap this layer, so bring it down. That way it won't overlap. Oh yeah, but then you set the colors, so you're going to change to that. Okay, get this. You can create another layer, there's no problem. Bring it down. Now you can start. So if you make a mistake, if it goes in, it won't matter. You see, it's still sharp. So that's exactly what we want. And when using this, try not to, like, you know, do all over it again. Just a single nice smooth line would do. We want to see those holes in here, this part of it. We want that. If not, we'll just be using a normal paintbrush. So just a nice little stroke over here. Okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, but in a little bit. Now when it's coming to this sharp points right here, what you can do is you can just make it go a little bit inside. Here in this video. Okay, make it go a little bit inwards and come back out again. Of course, it may seem a little bit weird and all that, but it's okay. Now try to mimic the sharp points too. So let me see when I try to do better. Now you don't want to make this brush too thin, because you want to be able to see the pink color aura. So that's a very important thing to note. The outline of it, yes, you must have a, I mean, it's really highly recommended to have a thin brush size, but right now we're not doing the outline anymore, so you can have a, I wouldn't really say large, I would say a medium sized size brush. Okay, so just keep on doing this. Now even if yours, let's say maybe this part it's a little bit inwards than this part, it's okay, don't have to feel so bad about it. As long as when you zoom out and it has that kind of like the bigger picture, you know, you can actually really see the bigger picture, it's this, then that's good enough. So you don't need to get so frustrated if yours is not exactly symmetrical. Okay. Oops. Now, so you don't want to be too far apart like what I did just now, leaving all this space. Try to make it fit towards try to make it touch. Now actually this part right here is completely optional, but if you're doing this, good thing to note is that if you're using this app, then this will be one of the most easiest part of the whole video, because right now what you're literally doing is that you're just outlining another thing that you've already drawn. Okay. They're almost done. Just a few more. You can skip this part. After just gonna show it. Now I know that making because of what I said earlier of this video, making sharp points with a large size brush is kind of difficult, but try to do your best. And there you have it, a nice drawing of Hades Kerbecs from Beyblade Metal Masters. Right now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make it red. I'm going to use the fill option. What is this? Okay, fill it with red too. Now just look for anything red. Okay, and it's done. Now if you really want to make it a little, now complete optional all over again, what you can do is that go on the library. If you're using this app, go on the library, go on the glow section. It's extremely useful. This you can use glow neon. Let me see how big. Wait, what? How big is the size? Hmm, 12.6 darken. Okay, no, we need glow. Let's try to make it small. Why isn't it showing? Oh no. Okay, make it with this layer. Let's try it now. Now this part is completely all up to you. If you want, you can make the eyes like glow. You can do this, or you can just leave it. Now if you're gonna do this, it adds in like the more scarier effect. Okay, and if you're gonna do this, you can either do freehand, or you can use this, make into a circle first, into the circle that you want. Remember, if you zoom in, the circle becomes smaller. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do this part, but you know, just put in a little circle down here, and then later use your neon to just make it glow slightly, especially here in the middle. Okay, this may not look like a very good circle. If you're gonna do it from the side, try to make it like this, pointing towards this side. Make it into like an oval. Don't make it into like a circle. Make it into an oval pointing to the direction. And there, Hades Kerbecs. This is how you draw Hades Kerbecs from Beyblade. I would like to say thanks for watching if you stick right until the end, and maybe next time I'll draw maybe going to do something easier. I'll try to assign something easier and I'll try to draw it. Normally publish my videos maybe weekly, because first I need to find what I want to draw, and I gotta practice drawing it a few times, get the hang of it, choose the colors, everything. It takes me a lot of time recording and all that. So yeah, maybe I publish videos weekly. It'll be about this long. So yes, I'll see you next time, and goodbye.